Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk about the polyurethane flexible molded foam formulation and testing. The first part is polyol blend. The ingredients that we need to make a polyol blend will be first polyol. It could be polyether or polyester. Second, polymer polyol to make the final foam harder. Also, it can be polyether or polyester based. Then we need gel catalyst for catalyzing the gel reaction. Next one will be the blow catalyst to catalyze the blow reaction. Then we need surfactant, even as a cell regulator or cell stabilizer. It depends on the density of the foam that we are seeking. Then we need a crosslinker to make a to increase the crosslinking density in the matrix, polymer matrix. And finally, we need a blowing agent. It could be chemical blowing agent like water to produce CO2, or it could be auxiliary blowing agent. But here we will use the water as a blowing agent. The next part of the polyurethane molded foam formulation and testing will be making the prepolymer to join with the polyol blend and make the polyurethane foam. The ingredients we need for making the prepolymer will be, first part will be the isocyanates. It could be TDI or MDI and its variants. And second part will be the polyol. It also could be a polyether and polyester polyol with different molecular weight and functionalities. And here you can see a glass reactor to do the prepolymer. After making the polyol blend and prepolymer in the previous sections, we will analyze the prepared ingredients to making the polyurethane foam. In polyol blend section, normally we will measure the water content by the Carfisher machine. We will measure the viscosity of the polyol blend, and also we will measure the total OH number of the polyol blend. And in prepolymer side, we will measure the viscosity and NCU content, which are very important amount or parameter, which shows us how much prepolymer we need to react with the specific amount of OH number from the polyol blend to make a proper foam, proper polyurethane foam. In this step, after making the polyol blend and prepolymer, we will do some activities to react these two together. First, conditioning of both materials to a defined range, normally between 23 to 25 degrees. Next, dosing of a specific amount of polyol blend and prepolymer based on their defined ratio that we have done before and we have measured before. For example, 50 to 100 or 62 to 100 and so on. These ratios are calculated based on which index we are seeking to work with. And then the next step, we pour these two materials inside a paper or plastic cup and mix them by a proper mixer normally between 1000 to 3000 RPM. and then detecting the reaction times, including cream time, string time or gel time, end of rise, and tech-free time. After that, measuring the maximum rise height in centimeter, height after 30 seconds, 5 minutes, and settling amount in percentage, and free rise density in kilogram per cubic meter. And finally, controlling the cell structure of the foam, whether it is open or semi-closed, if there is a shrinkage or not. After doing these activities, we define the reaction parameters. What is these parameters means? Cream time. Cream time is the time from the moment the polyol and isocyanate components are mixed together until the foam begins to visibly expand and turns creamy or opaque. String time is the time from mixing until the foam forms a string when touched with a stick and pulled away. Dip a stick into the foam and lift. If a string forms, this is the string time. The next time is the tech-free time. The tech-free time is the time after mixing when the foam surface becomes non-sticky to the touch. Gently touch the foam surface with a gloved finger. If it no longer sticks, that's the tech-free time. These 3 times are very important in designing a proper polyurethane foam systems. For example, if the cream time is too short, you cannot fill the mold properly, and if the cream time is too long, it means the production time will be too long. So string time or gel time. Gel time shows you the time of the gelling reaction taking place, and this also amount is important to dictating the cell structure to the final foam. If the string time is too short, you will have a tight foam. If it is too long, you will have a maybe too open or maybe a collapse foam. And tech-free time shows you the surface cure of the final foam. The longer the tech-free time, the poor the surface cure will be. The next parameter is the settling amount. The settling height of the polyurethane foam from maximum height to the height after 30 seconds and 5 minutes. And settling amount is calculated by this formula: maximum height minus height after 30 seconds or 5 minutes in centimeter divided by maximum height. So the settling time also is important to show you how open is the foam. The larger the settling amount shows you dictate more openness of the foam. So this parameter also should have a limit in the lab to have a proper system. And finally, we have free rise density. Free rise density is the density of polyurethane foam formed when the reactor mixture is allowed to rise and expand freely without any external confinement or pressure. For example, in an open mold or cup. How to test the polyurethane foam? In these 2 videos, you can see how the polyurethane foam is prepared in the lab. In the left video, the expert is adding the prepolymer onto the polyol blend inside a cup. And in the right side, he or she is trying to put a stick inside the foam and detect when a string is observed. And this time is the string time. After measuring the reaction data in the previous section, we will analyze the foam reaction data, for example, cream time, string time, tag-free time, and so on, and compare the data with the acceptance criteria which is defined before by the experts, polyurethane experts in the lab. And if these parameters within the acceptance criteria, then we go to the next step and make the mold sample in the lab. And if not in the acceptance criteria, so we go back one step and change or amend the polyol blend or prepolymer recipe. After making the polyurethane foam in the sample mold in the lab, the expert will analyze the foam properties like foam density, cure conditions, the appearance of the foam, and if all the data were within the acceptance criteria, then the expert will go to the next step, which is the machine trial. If not, he will decide to come back again to the recipe to change the recipe of the polyol and prepolymer, or maybe do some changes in the process, like, for example, mold temperature, type of release agent, and so on. We assume that this system, the polyol blend and prepolymer system, has passed all three steps successfully. First in the lab as a reaction profile test, then in the sample mold, also in the lab, and finally passed the machine trial, which is the most important step, and it is a mimic of the customer trial. Normally, the good companies and the big companies, system house companies, they have the machine, the injection machine inside, and before sending the material to the customer, they do or they mimic the trial in their own site and see the result. So if these three steps have been passed, so the R&D people or the expert talks to the production people and gives the recipe of both polyol blend and prepolymer to them, and the production people prepare these two samples, for example 1 drum of each. Normally the polyol, because of the lower density, the weight of the polyol is between 200 kg to 210 kg, and the prepolymer, because of the higher density of the isocyanate, it is between 240 to 245 kg, depends on the density of the polyol and prepolymer. And the And the company will send these 2 drums to the customer for the customer trial in presence of the R&D people, customer service people, and sometimes the sales people. And if the customer trial also was successful, the customer will order a big amount of this system, for example, some tons of this system, and will do the so-called 1-day trial. The customer will test this system in all of the molds, or the most complicated molds they have in the factory. And after getting the positive results of this 1-day trial, the customer will issue the final approval for this system, and the customer enter the system name to his master list, and they can continue ordering of this system for the mass production. Finally, I would like to give you my best thanks for watching this video, and if this video was interesting for you, please like it, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do it now for getting the next video of this series.